And hello friends, I'm with you, and today I'm going to show you how to make a very cool fully automatic and endless tree farm with the help of Botany on version 1.16. By the way, it can also be done on other versions up to 1.7.10. But before you start watching, be sure to subscribe to me and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. But we're getting started. To build this very cool company, you will need 3 ordinary mana distributors, 3 diluted by the pool, 2 mana lenses for ghostliness, 1 mana lens for drilling, an open box, a drum of destruction of foliage, chewing dew, agrigvozdica, a collar, a carpus, a mushroom seed, namely a mushroom, and an observer, a funnel, 1 repeater, 4 redstones, 1 wooden pressure plate, a lever, 3 frames, 1 any semi-block, a chest, as well as a sample with a tree, preferably more seedlings and also apples as a sample. Yes, there are as many as 4 flowers in one company, and different ones. You are probably very interested in what will come out of this, but let's quickly take all the items and start building. To begin with, you will need to dig a hole 9 by 4 and 2 blocks deep. Let's do it faster, that is, look 1, 2, 3, 4, here we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now we are breaking it all down, and also digging another layer. Great, we did it. Also, let's make it easier for me to remove another layer. It was one right here around the perimeter that you could just walk up here and calmly get out. That's it. I also forgot to tell you that we will need 2 blocks of stony earth, but I think you will find it somewhere. Well, now we are fully ready to build our farm. To begin with, we take the earth and look, we will have the front side here, so let's now move on to the back side, that is here, and put here such a wall of earth. It turns out that we have it 7 by 1, and also too high. You will need to build another layer just here, see 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there is a block here. We are already putting stony ground here, there is also stony ground, and everything else we are sealing up with earth, except we will need to leave 1 block here. And why didn't we deliver the block here? And in order to plant a mushroom seed here, but either just put 1 mycelium. Why mycelium, you ask? But because we need to prioritize the flowers correctly, so that they work with the wet and absolutely correctly. To do this, let's put turf here, and put mushroom seed here for everyone. It infects this turf, and here we have a missile spreading. By the way, let's break a little bit here, so that he doesn't go anywhere, and put the blocks back on. That is, in this way, we restore everything from experience, and very well, the mycelium will not go anywhere else. Here, by the way, we will also restore. Well, here's what we're getting so far. The main thing to take into account is that here we should have exactly stony land, here is also stony land, and here are mycelium. All the other blocks are not really important. Then, we will need to take 1 about the server, and also 3 redstone. And the observer, look where we are going to stand, this is our front side again, we move to the right side, well, that is, to the right side, and look here we have a rocky ground. Here we have 2 free blocks, and right next to this rocky ground, but on the block above, we put an observer, who looks at the block of air above the rocky ground. That's exactly what we do, and then everything will work fine for you. Then, we put a redstone here, we break it here, a redstone here, we break 2 blocks here, and also a redstone here. Everything, we have finished with the redstone so far, we will need to break only 1, 2, and 3 blocks here. So far, that's what we're getting. Next, we will need to take 1 mana distributor, and put it here. For now it doesn't matter where it looks. Later we will naturally redirect it in the right direction. By the way, let's also immediately put 1 pool of mana to it here, diluted pool of mana. Usually it is not necessary to put them, because they are, as it were, not needed here. You can save money. This is where we will install it, in this hole, so that it is naturally close to the distributor, and transfers all the mana to him. Great. Next, we will need to install a limiter for the tree, so that the tree does not grow too high. To do this, let's immediately put a seedling with a house here. By the way, look here you can observe. Oh, a little wrong, broken unnecessary block. In short, here, when we have a seedling, this observer works for us, and when it also grows, it will also work. And here we will have such a bundle of mana, which will eventually break all these boards, well, more precisely, not boards, but wood. Later, it will all be collected, but now we will arrange it all. I just want you to understand the whole principle of operation of this farm. By the way, at the beginning, I made a little mistake by 1.7.10. It will not work out, because there are no observators there. But in principle, I think that it is possible to come up with something. Next, you will need to install the limiter itself. To do this, let's take auxiliary blocks. Let's say the wood will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we put a half block on the 7th block. We can break all this, and let the half block fly here. He's just going to limit all the wood, so that our tree does not grow up to such a huge size. And it should be placed directly above the seedling, as I did. Then let's immediately put 1 diluted pool on top, and also a semolina dispenser. And look, here we get that it's you and me on the left side of this farm, and even to the left, we put a diluted pool of mana, and then there is already a mana distributor. And what are we doing this for? Look, here we have this mana distributor. We'll look at this pool, transfer mana here, and so that the mana just doesn't disappear anywhere, we will return it back with you. That is, there will be such a cycle. Look, let's even set it up right away. Here we have a mana distributor. It will look at this pool. Everything is great. Here, by the way, everything will fly by like this, and immediately break all the wood, which we have going up like this. Everything is very well thought out. Then mana will accumulate here. We will return this mana back to this pool. And look, we redirect the op here, but the problem is that we have a block here that will not allow this to be done. But as you know, we have a lens. Mana lenses for ghostliness. We are improving this distributor from above with this lens, and then everything will pass through the blocks perfectly, and nothing will break, and mana will come back. Well, by the way, then there is a question about this distributor. How will he still break all this wood with his mana beam? To do this, we also have a drilling mana lens, which we have already done. So let's immediately charge it with this lens. And thus this mana lens, when releasing a mana beam, will break all the blocks that will be in the path of this beam. That is, just the same, all the wood is here. And in general, as you know, it's very thoughtful and cool. Well, roughly speaking, now we have made a system that will completely break the wood. That is, and when this seedling grows, an observer triggers, transmits a signal to this distributor here. By the way, exactly, we need to make an unusual, with a red stone here. It was a mistake, we need a red distributor. It's good that I remembered it right now, otherwise there would have been a fail and nothing would have worked. Therefore, let's now reconfigure it up, back, so that it now works for us from redstone. In other words, let's check it out. I break the block, and our mana doesn't splash out anywhere. But why? Because there is simply no mana. We'll charge it up a little later. Then, we will need to somehow organize the collection of all this, and also the planting of seedlings in reverse. To collect, we will need a gate. We put it on the mycelium with you, because it is important to us that it works last. Then, from the front side, we break down 1-2 blocks here, and you will need to take a pressure plate, a resin repeater, the redstone itself, a lever, an open box, and also a funnel. Yes, there are quite a lot of items, but in general, look at the plate we put here. Then we take the redstone repeater away from the plate in such a way that it looks to the left, directly at this block. This is where we put redstone dust. Here we will have a lever to turn off this entire company. We put the open box right above the pressure plate, and we put the funnel so that it looks at the open box in this way from this side. Now let's look at what is going to happen here at all. In this case, the gate will collect with seedlings, and look, it will all flow into the loading funnel. The funnel will be given to this open box. An open box will drop 1 seedling. Then this seedling can pick up the carpus wound. Yes, that's exactly what it's called. And if the carp has already put its seedling, and there is simply nowhere else to put it, when the gate takes it back. And in principle, everything here will work so cyclically. By the way, let's put a car wound here right away with you. It is placed on that block, and under which there is a stone ground, that is here. After all, do you remember how it works? He takes some items from us that we drop, and puts them on those blocks, the sample of which is located right under his block on which he stands. That is, here we have a stony ground, and he will put all the drops that can be put on stony ground at all. That is in this case, here. By the way, exactly this vodka will need a power supply. For this, we take a diluted basinman, and put it here. Now let's set up all the filters. We will need a frame for this, an additional chest by the way, which we will put here. We put the frame here, look, here, and also here. Because we will have only 3 varieties of wood, namely it will be an oak log, and an apple, and also naturally. So, where are the seedlings? We don't have any seedlings. Our seedlings will go into the funnel. That is, here we put them. The wood is here to go, and the apples are also here, in this chest. Here we will take just the same all the loot. And the seedlings, by the way, we can already load into the loading funnel. Here we can 64, at least as much. Look, here we have an open drop box here. Here we have everything activated here, so that it doesn't drop anymore. And with a delay such a small one takes it back. If we didn't have anything standing here, then the gate wouldn't take him away and plant his wound right here. Here's a look at how everything works fine, and mana should splash out at all, but nothing happens, because everything needs to be charged. To do this, let's take a mana tablet with you, do it here for charging, and throw it there. So, it doesn't work out a little bit, so we will have to break this, and then we will restore everything later. We throw it here. Everything is great. Here we have charged, we restore everything. We do the same from above. Great. And also, by the way, we will charge this pool with a collar. Everything is great. Now when this wood grows, let's simulate it now. I'll take bone meal for this, and grow this seedling quickly. Look, this distributor is going to work for us now, but nothing is happening. But why? Well, let's do it again. most likely we just had a tank. Yes, everything is fine with us. Here mana passes and returns back to this pool. Now it will be necessary to do something with the foliage, somehow break it, or even possibly transform it into mana, and let's do it now. By the way, about the drop that we eventually formed here. It moved here and also into our chest. And in order to break all this foliage, we will need a special item called a foliage destruction drum. It will need to be installed, look, in such a way that we do not have it under this diluted pool of mana, but a little to the side, namely from the side of the chest. And now, when mana is going to flow into it, let's say I take some kind of mana pistol now, here's a silver bullet like this. Shoot it and look, everything breaks down quickly. Now we will do it all automatically. To do this, we will need land. Look, we are putting an auxiliary block here for now, an auxiliary block here, and our block of land is already here, like this. And we will also put chewing dew on it, so that it transforms the foliage into mana, and then throws this mana out here, into this drum of ours, and accordingly this drum will break all the remaining foliage. In other words, we will have such a waste-free and absolutely endless production. Let's say we have mana being generated here. In order to transfer it there, we need to put another excellent student's mana distributor here on the left and direct it, look, not at the drum, but directly at this diluted pool of mana. But mana can't get through here. In order for it to pass and activate this drum, we will also need mana lenses for ghostliness. We are improving this distributor, and then everything will be fine. Let's check it out quickly now. To do this, I will take more bone meal and grow this tree. Look, everything breaks down here quickly. Then this whole foliage also breaks down, and for some reason, nothing was activated for us. Apparently there wasn't enough mana in this chewing plant yet, but next time everything will definitely work for us. So, let's grow a tree. Look at it, it breaks down perfectly. The foliage is also absorbed. And now we should have this distributor in general. And we didn't tie it down, exactly. We all tie, and in short, everything works perfectly for us, and all the foliage breaks. Here he will be bludgeoning, drumming, making music for you, and even producing wood. This is where it will be stored. Let's take another look at this. We grow it quickly, everything is fine here, again, it breaks down, and now all the foliage will be absorbed. Well, for greater efficiency of this whole farm, I also advise you to finally put the agrologistics, the very last block, and the very last flower that we will need here. We have just the same free space right here. It will touch this seedling and grow everything faster. She is already tied to this diluted pool of mana, and everything is already working fine. What will she do? It will simply accelerate the growth of this seedling, and the farm itself will work faster. And as a result, we get an incredibly efficient tree farm, which, by the way, can also be converted into a semolina farm, so that all the foliage is absorbed with the help of chewing dew, and not just a little bit to make this drum work. Well, there was a potato with you. Be sure to subscribe, like, write comments, and also click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. Good luck to everyone, and bye to everyone.